hate the term financial literacy, and I want to tell you why. Using the term literacy around personal finance promotes shame. It's demeaning. You don't know what you don't know, so we need to stop shaming ourselves. Financial literacy implies that we're supposed to know this stuff. And I always say, how exactly should we know? Women especially have picked this up, this guilt that we don't know about personal finances. There's so much shame we feel that it gets in our way of taking positive action and making truly wise financial decisions. Think about it. The term literacy is used to talk about people's ability to read, to make sense of written words on a page. Most of us learned to read when we were little kids. Why? Well, because that's the main thing school focused on for many years. And attendance at school is compulsory in this country. It's against the law to skip school. We also, many of us, had families who helped us. They read us stories. Reading is modeled everywhere we look. So in the case of reading, we are given the tools that we need to succeed in a world where the ability to read is very essential, and the inability to read would be a huge hindrance to daily life. So when we apply the term literacy to money and finances, it's extremely problematic. For one, it implies that we should have learned this stuff, that it's our own fault if we don't know and if we don't have this knowledge. Well, I call bullshit on that. How the heck were we supposed to learn it? Money and personal finance is not taught in our schools, not even at the highest top tier level MBA programs in this country. Schools don't teach about money. Families don't teach about money. Healthy financial behaviors are not modeled in this culture. I'm looking at you, Carrie Bradshaw, with your fashion and shoe budget. I mean, come on. This is what is modeled to us. We are not given the tools that we need to succeed in a world where money is essential. And let's be real, money is essential in our world. We live in a society, in a time where we trade our time, our talents, our energies, our knowledge for this stuff called money, this green paper, or increasingly this kind of imaginary stuff represented by numbers on a screen. And then we have to turn around and trade that money for the things that we need, including our most basic human needs, like a place to live, food to eat, clothing, protection, security, transportation to get to the place we need to work to earn the money to pay for the transportation, or increasingly, internet and a working computer so that we can work remotely to earn the money. So in this world of finances, we are left to fend for ourselves. We're thrown out into the world, into a very complex financial system. Let's face it, a man-made financial system, and I use the word man intentionally here. It's a complicated world we are not taught about. Do you remember senior year of college, walking around campus and people, probably your classmates, being paid to sit at tables and throw credit card applications at you? Were we taught about credit, about debt, about how that works, about credit scores? We were not. So we're living in this very complicated financial world. We're not given the tools, and let's face it, all of the resources in this equation are on the side of the companies that are trying to make a profit off of us. The marketers and companies that are trying to sell us stuff, to convince us that our lives would be so much better if we bought their thing or their service. There are a lot of resources put there. The credit card companies, like I mentioned, The companies that want to lend us money, that want to convince us to spend money before we've made it and charge a fee to them for that privilege to buy the stuff the marketers have convinced us that we need. The banks and companies convincing us to save our money with them. The investment companies convincing us to buy their product. And then, of course, the IRS and Congress making the tax rules insanely complicated. And we're out there on our own trying to figure it all out. But hey, let me be clear. None of these products is bad on their own. We need banks. We need credit and financial vehicles. My point is that we're not taught how to make decisions around them, how to put them together and use them wisely. I do not advocate going off the grid, foraging for food and saving your money in a plastic bag. No, 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 no. We need to live in this financial world. The problem is we're not given the tools to navigate it. Then, on top of that, they shame us by using the word literacy and implying that we are second-class citizens, that especially women have poor financial literacy, and that's really the problem. It really steams me if you can't tell. So my theme for this month is financial literacy. And next week, I'm going to dive into some of the things that I think we should have been taught about personal finances. So much of it is simple but not easy. So much of it comes down to a few basic principles, but because of human nature, because of the strengths of marketers, it is very hard to follow the simple principles of personal finance. So we're going to dive into that going forward.